This is Master and Teach Virgo with the untold history behind your name to your chosen or given nickname's purpose. Part 2. Okay, so in case you lost, sperm locks information or the IM thought. An egg locks the information of the sperm, which is the knowing of all human history from past to present to every baby being born. And once the baby is developed and born into this reality, it is once again thought encased in another body. So sperm, a body, egg, a body, human flesh, a body. So at this stage, the baby knows all human information from the first man to its own conception. But that is about it. This is thought in its weaker form of the I am, but strongest form of the human flesh outside the body. So what does this mean? It means that every developmental stage of the pre-birth to the so-called afterbirth, we become less conscious. So we have 3 locks of natural information block already before we start to be taught by our parents, by our teachers, by our friends, by our perception, and our 5 senses. So on top of all your own mental blocks, we have all these distractions and we have to fight our way through all this to find ourselves. Not a light task for many people, let alone the weak-minded. Okay, but before we even get to that point of thinking about finding ourselves, we are given a name. This name does actually come from us, but it's coming from only our knowledge of the history of man, which knows of the knowledge of the I am thought. No, with no knowledge of the I am thought. So, not a spiritual thinking, but mankind thinking. And even these names are a spell over us, which is an controlled energy by other fleshly beings, which of course are us, but with no real higher standing of the spiritual, aka our names are another block of our energy. Our names are another body encasing our energy. Our names are a set path that we must either leave or at least peek out from behind. And this is where nicknames come from. So nicknames that come from ourself are creative energy, a sense of freedom, a kind of self-escape from your everyday self or what you believe to be your everyday self. So, the name of your parents. So, the name your parents gave you are called your God given name. That's funny because your parents don't even know that they are God. So, of course, God given name is the fact that you know you are God, gave yourself your name, but not in a God given thought place, but a God given human space. Okay, so your parents don't even realize they are God, let alone they are a piece of God. They barely understand that they came from God, but they will tell you we all come from Adam, which is true. But you see, they aren't going to be much help past that. But don't worry, I'm here for you. So back to the nicknames. The ones that other people give you are also a block, aka a body, a layer over top of all the other layers over your purest energy, which is the thought. I always choose my own nicknames because they also serve as a vibration, a energy, a signature, a specific attitude, and a demeanor. Remember, remember spells. So with my nicknames, I can tell a certain time period, a certain area, a certain way of thinking by what name someone calls me by. Same as with my first name and middle name and even my last name. If anyone called me by my last name, I could either remember them or where they know me from. But that's not it. These names are like a sleep spell. They are activated when spoken to the person. I have raised beyond this, but it still takes some control. But your everyday, run of the mill, non thinking person would snap back, not a hat, but to a way of thinking attached to that name. It's kind of like you name, it's kind of like your name given at birth. Your nicknames you gave to yourself or others gave to you are all different versions of a personality. So this is Master and Teach Virgo. Oh, and this is the part two of how we went from the I am everything thought to we are only people or only human mindset. Excuse me. In case y'all are wondering, these are not my socks. Master and Teach Virgo. Check it in and check it out. Gone.